Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Old Can's, well, a sketch with Old Can, I guess we'll do it, a video. I'm going to teach you how to draw a front-facing face, a head-on face today. So this is my first how to draw video. It's actually the second time I've recorded this video because I wasn't recording the first time. But if you do like this, please remember to hit the like button and subscribe to get more of this. And in this video, I'm going to show you sort of my trick on how I do like map out a face and draw a basic face. And it's slightly different than the way that I was taught or the way that you might see some other videos. And this mainly goes from me being angular focused rather than curvature focused. I'll get into that. So as we start here, I'll show you first the way that you're commonly shown how to draw a face from the, at least from the front. But when you're constructing a head, they say draw a circle, and that'll be the cranium. And then you want to draw the jaw down from the circle, so the circle would kind of like end here, and then draw that. And it's a perfectly fine way to do it if you do your drawings this way, you're laying it that way. You know, I'm not criticizing it at all, but for me, I always had problems with this method for whatever reason, and I think it's because I try to go away from drawing angles and being square based, and like I'm much more like angular and rectangles and triangles, that kind of type of person, angular rather than circular, and I would get the proportions wrong. So now I'm going to show you how I do it. I'll start off with a square. If you're doing a female face, if I was doing a male face, I would draw kind of a longer rectangle, and just at the bottom I cut off kind of the squares and I draw two lines as a downward triangle to create the chin. And because it's a female, I kind of just angle that little spot. Instead of it being square jaw, I angle it in a little bit. I draw a couple off diamonds for the ears, just a tad above where the jaw meets it, and then I can map out where the middle of the eyes go. The middle eyes go to the top of the ears, and halfway down you do the nose, and I just start off with a couple loose marks, and then halfway down that you do a mouth. So here's one of the things that I wanted to get into. So for the eyes, obviously you want to start off, you want to have the inside of the eyes match up where you're going to put the nostrils. So I mapped out kind of a large rectangle for the nose, kind of where that's placed, and then I do a diamond, so a couple triangles, two triangles together, or a diamond. And I'll get into why I do that in a bit, but then I go down and I do another triangle, I do another diamond for the nose. So that's sort of the shadow. So what I'm thinking for the nose is that's the shadow. Now, yes, sometimes you will have the shadow be on the top part, but in generally you might have underlit, but you still want to just kind of map out where that shadow would be, even if it's not a shadow, because then you can sculpt it around that shape. And then just do kind of off squares for the lips with a couple triangles. Just again, you're seeing shape. So when you're drawing and painting, you want to think about shapes. And I'll get in that. So I always had a big problem with trying to draw a certain way and copying what I was taught or copying a style instead of focusing on shapes. And if I would have been taught more, or I would have done proper studying, I would have focused on drawing shapes and shapes and shapes, and then focused on trying to draw faces by doing shapes instead of things. And that's sort of what I did. I went backwards and I started putting in shapes. So sometimes even in a rougher painting, I'll draw just dark triangles under the eyes. I'll do a dark triangle for the nose and a kind of a dark line for the mouth, and have it mapped out. And then if you're just painting without lines, you can you start manipulating in there. It's a big shapes, and you'll have you can have an angle here where it's shaded, usually from the cheekbones down, depending on where your lighting source. Always depending on your lighting source. But if I were to focus more on actual shapes, I wouldn't have been focused on trying to replicate so much. Okay, so for me, as you can see, I'm just gonna do some lines on here and like add a little bit of detail. I ended up going in and shading some of the planes and things. You want to get the when you start sketching and doing it a little bit darker, you want the dark parts of the eyes are going to be the corners of the eyes, and same with the mouth. You want the corners of the mouth and in the middle where it opens up, and then obviously the nostrils. So what I was going to say about the eyes, for instance, like I think I want to do a second video, and if you're interested in this, please let me know in the description, because I would like to do a second video, because this was a really big one for me. You're doing the triangle eyes instead of round eyes. So again, like I said, I prefer this method because it starts off with a square. I can round it off a lot easier in my brain, and I don't know if any other artist struggles with that if they're an angular type, almost like a neo-cubist, if you will. Not to get all hoity-toity on you, but I just don't do as well if I'm trying to draw or paint elliptically with curves and flowing stuff. I do much better when I start off square or angular, and then I can round it off from there. My brain just works that way, so I wanted to do a video to kind of show people that might be struggling with that, or it may be something that you can try if you're struggling drawing. Just try doing that. Go with big shapes, but for rounded objects, do angular square things. For square objects, you can do different, maybe you can try rounder stuff. Just mix it up. But for the eyes specifically, what I would like to do is drawing this eyes. If you're interested in it, again, please leave a comment and let me know, because I might do the second series of drawing the eye from a different angle, because I know that is a difficult thing for new drawers or people struggling drawing. I still had a problem with it until I discovered this technique of the diamond eyes, because it really allows me to draw it at a different angle and have it look appropriate. So you don't have that, a lot of beginner artists will have that front-facing eye problem where if it's a 3/4, it still looks like the one eye on the far side is still front-facing. That kind of problem. But the diamond shape really allows my brain to easily change how the eye shape should look from different angles. And I think some people think very organically of circles, rounded objects, and like a ball very easily, and can like kind of map it in their brain of how it's going to look when they draw it. I'm not really that way. I think more, again, angular. So that's sort of why I thought about doing this series, to see if maybe there's other people that have a similar thought process, but they never get a lesson or someone talking about it. I see a few professional artists out there that are very angular, and I really like their style. I always gravitated towards it, and I didn't really understand why. But for me, drawing angular really speeds up my process of in drawing a piece. So I hope you like that. As you can see in this drawing, I'm just shading it out, and then I take a blender just to do some basic form and shading. And yeah, again, if you like this video, please like and subscribe. Let me know if that's something you want to hear, or you want to hear more about this angular concept, maybe full body. Maybe I'll do a series on this if it's something that you enjoyed, it's something that hits a nerve. If you let me know, you can follow me obviously on Twitter. It's @OldKenArt. I get a little bit more political there, so maybe it's not the best part if you can't handle that. But if you want more art-related focused stuff, join me on minds.com. So it's @OldKenArt is there as well. Or Instagram is a very fun, politics-free, only art on Instagram.com at oldkenart there as well. But as you can see, I even sort of fixed. I had the one side of the jaw was a little too high, and I sort of fixed it. I could have fixed it a bit more if I just wasn't rushing it. So, you know, I don't take a lot of time in doing refined sketches because I paint so much. But if I was going to do a sketch and I wanted to refine this, I could have fixed this more. But this was just a quick show you how you can quickly sketch a face and have it be proportional. And it just looks like it's shaded now. Sort of fixed it because it was, I could see it was a little too long. But yeah, so drawing angularly and using big shapes and using minimal land pieces. You know, so you just have the eyes, the nose, and the mouth. You're not drawing the whole bridge. You're not drawing wrinkles. You're not drawing dimples. You're not drawing eyelids. So yeah, put a little bit of eyelids in there, but you're not overcomplicating it. So you want to simplify it, simple shapes, and then refine those shapes. So you find the diamond into into rounded almond shape things. So if you like that video, again, like and subscribe, tell your friends, share it, let me know, and I hope to see you again. Okay, peace.